Welcome to Bigfoot Society. In this episode, I share a teaser of my chat with Joshua from Wisconsin. He shares what happens when you've built your house on Bigfoot's game trail. It's an intense episode. If you want to hear the whole episode, you can become a supporter over at patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society for less than a cup of coffee per month, or you can become a YouTube channel member. There's more stuff to do over on the Patreon. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy this trailer. It's you and your family on this property. I'm going to guess, is it like you, your spouse, and a few kids, it sounds like?
Yep.
So we know that this has affected you. And if you don't want to talk about this, is fine. But has this affected your spouse and your children at all with the, there's sounds, you're hearing stuff, you're seeing stuff?
Yeah, they won't go out at night. I've had my sons who are like, one's a teenager now, but they tried staying in a tent last year for the first time out in the yard, like right in front of the house. And within like an hour, they come running in with their friends. He had like two friends over. There's something in the woods walking around and it's growling. And I'm like, what? I'm like, seriously, you're just walking around, it's growling. We're not staying out there. And I'm like, all right. So then I go outside and I listen. I don't hear anything, but I got three teenagers telling me, and they look very honest. I mean, they're like not lying. And I've had it happen a couple times. Actually, when my kids were really young, like 5, 6, 7, they came in the house one day and it was close to dusk. And they're like, Dad, there's a monkey in the woods. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't want to hear this, and I heard they're a lot more approachable by children and women for some reason. Maybe they don't seem as much of a threat, compared to an alpha Bigfoot and an alpha male human or whatever. But they know there's stuff out there. They're not going to go out at night in the woods like crazy dad does, but yeah, they acknowledge there's something out there, and they're pretty scared of it.
That always freaks me out, as a father as well. When I hear those stories of children saying there's a monkey man, I saw a monkey man. And I mean, cause what they're saying.
Yeah.
So you've had a sighting. They have had a sighting at a point. Has your spouse had any interaction at all?
She's heard stuff. We've heard things, tree knocks. I'm like, honey, come outside and listen. Like, what is that? And you can hear it walking around, and she's like, whatever. I don't want to hear it. I think she just avoids it.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because if you, and this is me just thinking out loud, I wonder if it's a thing where if you don't acknowledge that it's there, then you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
It just came up and hit the house, because we've had that a couple times too. Some comes up and just goes like, boom, and we're like, what the heck? And I've heard, the house settling throughout the years, or it's like really cold in the cracks. No, this is a physical thing hitting the house,
So when you've heard something, let's say maybe hitting the side of the house, right? Have you ever gone out and looked at that area to see if you can see any evidence of what hit the house?
The next day, I won't go out at night.
Sure.
I mean, maybe if I had somebody here, and they're holding the flashlight and I had a gun, but
right.
It's kind of hard to do both. I actually have rifles now that have lights on them, for that specific reason. But yeah, I don't, the ground's really solid here. They never come around the house in the winter. I think they know they leave tracks. But I mean, it's, I do have some tracks in that I'll find just a random one, like where I wouldn't have gone, but for some odd reason, I just walked over there and I, just notice it. I'm not even looking for tracks. So I do have some pictures of prints in like mud or something, but, nothing around my house. Maybe it's a smaller one coming up and hitting it and getting away real fast. I don't know.
So nothing like, fingerprints on sighting or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. No. Gotcha. You had mentioned that at one point, at least, you have looked out the window and you've seen eye glare.
Oh, yeah.
How high up would you estimate that the eye glare is through the window?
The one I was sitting in my kitchen and I was looking out the sliding glass door, and it was like midnight, and at the time it was an open deck with railing, 2x2 railing, and when I looked up there, the light from the kitchen was going out the sliding glass door onto the deck, and when I noticed it noticed me notice it, and it went like, oh, and then it started moving away, and at that point its eye glare was like going in and out of the 2x2s till it walked out of the sliding glass door range. And then I stood out there like the next day and took a picture of me standing there. It was probably about maybe like 8 inches taller than me. So not as big as the one, but yeah, definitely. I don't think it was a bear. Bears obviously can't, like, not going to sit there and you're going to notice it, or it's going to notice it and then just walk away. It'd have to, go back down on all fours unless it's a circus bear. But I don't think bears have eye shine like that.
That's very interesting. You said you had a paranormal researcher come out. Did you ever report this to any Bigfoot related organizations to come out and look at?
I did report it to the BFRO like way back in the day, and the guy came out and kind of walked around and nothing happened, and then he left and he didn't report it. But like soon after I found out that they're not exactly the best organization to report their stuff to, because I've heard they'll have people like pay to come there, and then they'll basically like have a whole group of people making noise and they'll scare them away, and I didn't want that, so I didn't contact them again. I do have a guy from Minnesota. He wants to come out. He's been doing Bigfoot research for like 24 years, and he wants to like go spend the night out there in a tent. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to like up my insurance.
This episode only gets crazier. You can hear the whole hour and 10-minute episode over Bigfoot Society Patreon, patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society, or become a YouTube channel member. Thank you for listening to the Bigfoot Society. Stay tuned for some announcements. Just wanted to take a few minutes to say thank you to you, all my listeners, for listening to the podcast. Please take a minute to help out the show by subscribing on YouTube, making sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications, and share the episode on YouTube with a friend. Also, if you're listening to us on a podcast, thank you so much. Make sure that you're subscribed, share the show with a friend. Really, it's all about sharing the show wherever you can. If you've had a Bigfoot encounter related to the following or know someone who has, please reach out to me at bigfootsociety@gmail.com or pass on my email. Here's a list. All right, I'm going to use this space this week to announce that I'll be at the Sasquatch Summerfest in Oak Ridge, Oregon as an attender. I won't be presenting or anything, but I'll be hanging out, trying to interview people that have had Bigfoot encounters. If you're from the Oak Ridge, Oregon area or surrounding and you've had a Bigfoot experience, please contact me directly, bigfootsociety@gmail.com. Also, Priscilla was nice enough that if you get your tickets through SasquatchSummerfest.com and use code BigfootSociety, you can get 50% off the cost of your tickets, which is a big amount. So code Bigfoot Society to get 50% off your tickets, SasquatchSummerfest.com, and helps out the podcast as well. A special thank you to all the Bigfoot Society Patreon and YouTube channel members. It's your support that helps keep the show going, and I extremely appreciate it. One more thing. Okay, here's the deal. So we're at the point, guys, where there's no stopping us. We are going to full-time podcast no matter what, but I need your help to get there. I figured it out, and we need approximately 700 more people in the Patreon in order to reach our goal of going full-time, actually able to go to places, people that have been having Bigfoot activity, interview them face to face, check it out for myself, all that good stuff. If you guys can, guys, this is the time. If you can at any time become a supporting member of the Bigfoot Society, go to patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society. I would appreciate it. It's going to help us get to the next level, pretty much the final level. You guys are amazing for listening. If you can't become a supporting member, please share this episode everywhere you can. Share it with anyone who's into Bigfoot encounters. And that means a world to me as well. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
I can get on here and we can tell our stories. Maybe there's somebody else out there listening that's too afraid to tell their story. Maybe this will give them the courage to come out and not feel so bad about it. Who cares what anybody thinks? I know what I saw. I know what's out there. That's all I care about.
Let people know. Please let them know. If you ever see one of these things, you need to tell. Because if you don't, then shame on you. You know? Shame on you.